We're continuing to think about the fruit of the Spirit, so just a wee reminder of that list from St. Paul to the Galatians. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. As I mentioned a few weeks back, as we explore the fruit of the Spirit, we start to see increasingly the connections between these different aspects. Each fruit can be understood alone in their own right, but they're also intrinsically and beautifully connected, which makes sense, as we have to remind ourselves that these are not fruits, but fruit of the Spirit. 3 weeks ago, I think it was, maybe 4, because I've had a week away from this, when we were thinking about peace, I shared with you a meditation from the Bible Society. We were nearly sleeping by the end of it. But we're going to have another one of those meditations, which is actually intended to be read in thinking about love. Love being the first named fruit of the Spirit. And love is a fruit of the Spirit which permeates all the others. So here we have a meditation for love. And again, we take a few minutes to get comfortable. So maybe roll our shoulders up and back. To be conscious of how we're sitting in our seats. To let any tensions leave our bodies. You might want to have your feet flat on the floor. To close your eyes and rest your hands. You're about to hear a description of love in words which will be very familiar to you. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Notice which words linger in your mind. Call to the feeling you have when someone is patient with you. Think of a time someone has shown you kindness. How did you feel? Think of the safety you have felt when someone has shared in your wins. There's no sense of envy, only celebration. Take some deep breaths. Call to mind a time you've been with someone who isn't eager to point out their own achievements, but leaves space for yours. Remember what it's like to be with someone who draws your attention to the good in another person. Can you think of someone who makes space for your mistakes and doesn't remind you of ways you've hurt them in the past? Rest in that feeling. Call to mind times people have stood up for truth in ways that have brought life, brought reassurance, and brought meaning. Recall how it feels to know you're protected and safe. Think of a time someone has trusted you with something special. How did it feel? Think of how it feels to be around someone who is hopeful, who lives in anticipation of positive outcomes. What effect does their hope have on you? Think of a time you've benefited from someone's perseverance. Think of someone who has shown you persistent, enduring love. Remember receiving all these things. Stay in this moment. Let yourself feel the joy of these memories. Stay with that feeling. Maybe this reminds you of times you haven't been looked after or loved. It might bring up pain. Simply acknowledge that. Acknowledge those places you feel pain. If it helps, tighten your fist to symbolize that pain. And hold it tight as you acknowledge the ways you've been hurt. Slowly release your hand. Your palms upwards to let go of that feeling. Now keep your hands open as you remember and recall how it feels to be loved and to give love. Think of the times you've shown love to others. When have you been patient? When have you been kind? When have you celebrated others with quiet? Think of times that you felt content without needing to champion your own achievements. Call to mind a time you have valued and celebrated someone. When have you shared a smile? Think of times you've put others before yourself. When have you chosen to let go of a hurt and not hold it against someone? When have you affirmed and championed the truth? When have you stayed hopeful? When have you kept going despite tough circumstances? Think of all the ways you have embodied love. Now think about the day and the week ahead. Imagine yourself embodying love as described here in all your relationships, with colleagues or acquaintances, with the people you live with friends and neighbours, with the significant people in your life. Imagine how it could change those interactions. Now hold your palms up as a sign you're ready to receive love. Rest a moment in that feeling of love. Take a few deep breaths. Continue this day feeling loved, ready to give love and kindness. We have to wake ourselves up a wee bit so that we can stand and sing together.